Jewish Family Service has been serving the community for 100 years now. Our establishment was in 1915 and began with a lay leader in the community who felt that the needs of the community needed to be addressed. And so right from the beginning, even though we've evolved over our 100 years and we're not who we were started by volunteers and we'll always need volunteers. In the beginning, when Jewish Family Service was established, it was primarily for financial and social needs, I would assume at that time, mostly immigrants. And so the people were coming to the community and we were here to serve their needs financially and also in a unique way, medically. And some of those services still are here today before the welfare system was established and before people were able to get entitlement programs. Jewish Family Service was here to help. Volunteers are integral in Jewish Family Service in many ways. We have the way that we're even established, really, the way that we function is through a volunteer board. A volunteer board helps drive the organization, the business of the organization, the programs, the finances of the organization, and really right from that core, the foundation of Jewish Family Service, the board of directors are volunteers. And then of course we have our volunteers who do the work that we need done to help the people. So we have programs that many of our volunteers have helped with friendly visiting or with Meals on Wheels, telephone reassurance, connecting with the people in need in the community so no one should ever feel alone.
It's my pleasure to address the volunteers at this volunteer recognition party. We are starting on our 100 years of Jewish Family Service existing. And in Pirkei Avot, in the Proverbs, it says that the world exists on 3 pillars. One pillar being Gemilut Chasadim, meaning act of kindness. Of course, volunteers fall into act of kindness, of love, kindness, doing something for somebody else. Now, Jewish Family Service also could not exist without the act of kindness, the Gemilut Chasadim of the volunteers. And I really would like now to concentrate a little bit on what volunteers do for Jewish Family Service. I will just go over the few different things that the volunteers do for Jewish Family Service. It starts with board members, advisory board members, committee members, and then we go to the more hands-on work. There are people who do office work. There are people that deliver kosher meals on wheels, which is not only the delivering of the meals, however, that's a personal contact with the people that they deliver the meals to. For some of the people that deliver the meals to, it's the only personal contact they have that day, so that's extremely important. Other people are friendly visitors to people who are alone. We have some people who make phone calls to lonely people. We have shoppers. We have a person who does the shopping for our food pantry. We have people who bring food that were collected some other place and bring it to our food pantry. We have many opportunities at Jewish Family Service for different kind of volunteer work that are possible. We have retirees who volunteer for us. Who, to them, it gives them a structure to the day. They start volunteering for Jewish Family Service. We have college kids who have to fulfill their community work and they do 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. It's wonderful. They get to know what institutions like Jewish Family Service do to the community. They get to know different kinds of people. We have high school kids who deliver kosher meals on wheels or do packages for special holidays. We have a gamut of people, and again, we exist 100 years. We go from generation to generation. We have one volunteer whom we interviewed actually, and she delivers kosher meals on wheels for many years, and she has done this actually with 4 generations, starting from bringing her father with her as she delivered the meals to her children and now grandchildren too. So we really go from generation to generation.
I've been volunteering for the better part of my life, and I found, along the way, I found the Jewish Family Service. This happened probably 25 or 26 years ago, and I went in and served on the board, following which I was the treasurer for a couple of years, and ultimately I was the president. In the in the 1990s, that was about the time, I believe, that the the migration from Russia began here in Scranton, actually, when we were approached, and I'm very proud to say that the Jewish Family Service did much more than any other agency in this area. Not only did we find homes for these people, but we followed up and we tried to educate them and familiarize them with the United States and what to anticipate and some of the customs that we take for granted and that they were not familiar with. So the agency really did a wonderful job.
I moved to Scranton in 1979, and I think I started volunteering in 1979. A neighbor of mine told me about Jewish Family Service and said, would you like to do Meals on Wheels? So of course I had nothing to do. I only had 2 little kids and 1 on the way. So I said, okay, fine, I'll come. So I have had about, I would say, 15 partners since I started. I started as a runner because I didn't drive. And then about 2 years later, I started as a driver. And I've gone through many people. And I've trained many people. And I've worked in different volunteer aspects of Jewish Family Service, especially for fundraising. And I do the book, the journal, that was my idea. And I work with Joel Joseph. On it, we do it all ourselves, the entire thing. And I'm involved in the board, I'm on the board, and I try to help as much as I can. I'm the bag lady, but Sheldon Goldstein was the best. He and his wife would collect the bags for me and fold them. So they were perfect. Like even in the store they didn't look like that. And he would drop them off every so often, or I'd go to his house and pick them up. It was very interesting, but that's how we got our bags.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after I retired that I got involved with the Jewish Family Service, and just kept going, and I probably would still be going today. First of all, I started with Meals on Wheels with Dave Fink, and then I come into the office. I think I stuffed more envelopes than anybody that ever came there. In fact, when I used to come to volunteer, I'd bring my lunch with me. I didn't just stay for an hour, look and take off. I'd be there and put the papers all together and put just whatever it took to stuff the envelopes. And I did that, and then eventually they found a place for me on the board. And then once they looked, they found me as the president. I worked my way up to president, and then after that, they had this Man of the Year all the time. And I was picked to be the Man of the Year, and I didn't want it. I didn't think that I deserved it. I figured there's people in front of me that needed or deserve it more than I do.
I don't recall how I don't know if it was somebody here that influenced me to, or if I called on my own to do. I think actually is what I saw the other ladies doing, a couple other ladies, so I thought I'd want to try it. So I think that's why I called the Jewish Family Service to see if I just want to just go visit people that don't have anybody and just bring them a little cheer.
Volunteer to help out.
also to visit. It's a twofold experience. You take the meal, but you also connect with the person who is receiving it to make sure they're okay. And they like just to schmooze, they like to talk and see how they're feeling and if they have any concerns about their meals. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
I enjoy it. I enjoy stopping in and visiting with my neighbors, and if they need anything, I try to help them out a little bit if I can. Doing little things to help them out, you know, when you never know whose turn is going to be next, and there but for the grace of God go I. So I really like what I do, and I do as much as I can.
Well, the situation was, it's about 10 or 15 years ago, I don't remember exactly how long, there were quite a few Russian Jews that came to the U.S. and became established in Scranton. And I got a call one day from Naomi Alomar, who was very active. She was active in volunteering for many things. And she asked if I would like to volunteer to help try to teach some of these Russians some English. And I was happy to do it. I was sure, I thought it would be something interesting to do, and it would be something that I would really feel that I was doing something worthwhile. And I just say that the time that I spent doing it really was something that I enjoyed doing. I was disappointed when they left, but that was it. They were gone, and I felt that it was something that really gave me satisfaction. And I was happy to do it, and I felt that Jewish Family Service was really doing something very worthwhile.
A long time ago, Howard Ufberg died, and a friend of mine used to go with him, and he said I needed help. Here I am. I was recently retired, and I wanted to make something good out of it.
Howard Ufberg of blessed memory, he approached me this one day, and he asked me if I'd want to help out volunteering with the meals. And anyone who knew Howard could never say no. So I went with him, you know, to deliver the meals, and I was hooked on the first time I did them. And I find it
We go
very
into the
rewarding.
Jewish home where we pick up the meals. We supply our own bags, and we put everything together, and we drive to people's homes and deliver the meals to them.
Getting back to the Meals on Wheels, I mean, it's a fantastic program, and anyone who would be interested in helping, I mean, you'll find it very, very satisfying.
A warm, fuzzy feeling.
Okay.
I feel complete. I worked very hard when I was in my career, and when I'm not working, I want to be able to spend time doing things that I was never able to do before. So I'm trying to make up for it.
Our school has a chesed program where everyone helps out in different aspects of the community, and we got connected to JFS.
We package and deliver Meals on Wheels, and we package the meals and we deliver them directly to the seniors, and we help them, and we just talk to them, and sometimes we're the only people that they see a day, and we smile at them, and it makes them happy, and it makes us happy.
First we do a Jewish home, we package all the food, and then we go to each person's door and we hand deliver it to them, to each individual. And we make sure that we see them and give them a smile, and yeah, we hope we make their day.
We go package the packages and bring them around. We give them to the people, make their day. Occasionally when it's like Yom Tov or whatever, we package extra so they can have a special package.
When we deliver the meals, we usually talk to the people for a few minutes, ask them how they're feeling, and
because
talk to them.
I guess because it's a really nice program to give to others, and it's it's nice to start your day off, especially because we do it in the morning. So it's nice when you start your day off doing something nice, and you know, it's good when
It's a mitzvah, and I'm so glad that we get the opportunity to do it, because it really just makes me happy when I can help somebody else.
What would I tell younger people about volunteering? If they have the time, and you have to be committed to do it, you'll find it very satisfying and gratifying that you're helping other people who can't help themselves sometimes.
I just feel a person is put on this earth to give to other people. You know, you give to your family, and then my family's grown, so my kids aren't home, and then you give to others, you know, outside of your family, and that's a reason for. Bottom line, you get back a lot of satisfaction from doing that. You see that you're doing something with yourself instead of just, existing. And you make friends, and you have a whole connection with people. Well, I tell my kids to volunteer because I said it gives you a different look on life. You see people in different situations, and you can appreciate, number one, what you have, and number two, that you don't have to have the same circle. You don't have to always be in the same circle. That you can be friends and neighbors with other people, and have some sort of a connection to people who are outside of your circle, and still it's a good thing. It's a good feeling to do it, and my kids do.
Well, I would say that I found it very enjoyable. It wasn't anything that I attempted that I didn't like, and if they don't come after you, you have to go after them to do something, and you feel better after you volunteer to do some of this activity that has to be done. And if nobody volunteers, the things just don't get accomplished. The paid personnel can't handle everything. You do need outside help, and the volunteers are the biggest faction, because when you have that luncheon in the afternoon, and the people come that are being honored for doing the volunteers, most of them appreciate that.
Thing is, it's not whether you have enough or not. I want to put my time into something helping people. That's what it's all about, It's just not filling my time up with just any old thing. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't interested in people, I wouldn't do it, but I am, so. Well, I think it's a good thing to do. You're helping others who are less fortunate. You feel good about yourself. I know after I'm done with a volunteer job, I'm just so elated and so happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I've done something worthwhile.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing a good deed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're helping out in the community, and it means a lot to me and to people, and also to the staff, yourself, that they should keep in mind to get in touch with family services, Jewish family services, to help in any way that they can.
It makes you feel good. That's all you can say. You feel you're doing something with your life. You're not just staying in bed all day. Sure, I'm not crazy about getting up because I have to set my alarm for 7:30 in order to be ready at 9 o'clock when they ring the doorbell. But
I think I get more out of it than I give. I get more pleasure from it. I've been volunteering most of my married life, and when my husband passed on, I was already married 58 years. And I don't know what else. I'm sure there are a lot of people that do a lot more, but I do what I can.
Well, I think it's something that they really, it's really very satisfying, and I think if you can get more people to do it, it certainly helps, and it's not only helpful for the people that you're doing it for, but it's a satisfying experience. It made me, I felt good
I
about
found
it.
it very heartwarming. It was a wonderful
Very
experience.
good. Doesn't take very long and it gets a lot of good done.
It makes you feel good, it makes you feel part of a community, and it's a mitzvah at the same
Because
time.
it's easy. You don't have to do anything for it. Just go to JFS, they help you, and it's really nice. You get to see older people, help them out. Makes you feel really good.
Really, it's nice to, it's really nice to help others, and it really, when you, like when you see that other people are really gaining from it, and this could be their only visitors, and when you see in the morning that this is like, that they're happy that you're here and that you're helping someone, it's really
They should do it because everybody needs something, and everybody should be doing a chesed at least once a week. And these people sometimes don't see other people a day, and they need somebody to just see and just to bring them to a smile.
I do it, I think, I don't do it for any recognition or anything for myself. It makes me feel better. It gives me something, a purpose, something to do. I have the time. I may not always have, money to give to organizations, but I certainly have the time. I think it's just, a sense of purpose, especially, again, younger people, if they don't have the money, many organizations obviously need money, but if you have the time, their time is just as valuable to donate, even if it's for, once a week, your Meals on Wheels program, just helping out stuffing envelopes. You can volunteer for an hour a week, and it still would mean a lot to any organization, especially to Jewish Family Service.
Okay, in the last few weeks I have been going around and interviewing just a sample of the volunteers. We went to volunteers who volunteered years ago, we went to volunteers who are still volunteering, we interviewed people who just started to volunteer. Again, it's a sample. No volunteer is better than another volunteer, and it has been an absolute honor to interview these volunteers and work with volunteers for the last 20 plus years, starting with people who taught English to refugees from the former Soviet Union, people who helped people resettle not only the English language but resettle here, people who do the kosher Meals on Wheels, telephone reassurances, friendly visitors, food shopping, pantry shopping, special packages, making special projects, and I would like to finish this address to the volunteers saying it has been an absolute honor. Jewish Family Service is open to new ideas, so if people would like to, if it's a person or a group or a community would like to volunteer or do something to the community, please contact us and we'll see how we can work together to make the community a better community than it is through our volunteers.
There's a saying in Judaism, from generation to generation, from strength to strength. And we have many of our volunteers who have been here for years, committed to Jewish Family Service, committed to those people that we serve. And we also have now a young constituency of volunteers, high school students, children who come here to help with things like holiday packages, visiting the homebound. So really our volunteers go from the elderly to the young, from strength to strength, from generation to generation. And again, this is the core of who Jewish Family is and how we.
But I really want to focus here on the volunteers and what the volunteers do for our organization. There are people that are on the board, there are people that do hands-on work, there are people that volunteer every day, there are people that volunteer once a week, there are people that do volunteer work. We appreciate everything you do. And without the work of the volunteers, Jewish Family Service wouldn't be able to serve the community as we have been doing for 100 years and as we hope to keep on doing for another century.
It's been a wonderful experience. I've learned so much about what Jewish Family Service does. We've really grown in the few years that I've been on the board. we've become more, I think, more visible in the community at large, and how we treat all members of, of the community, not just the Jewish community, even though our name is Jewish Family Service, when it was founded, 100 years ago. And I think it speaks volumes to the fact that we are still here 100 years later, and hopefully for at least 100 years more. And that's why it's important, I think, for younger people to start getting involved. Even though I know it's difficult, you're working, have families, it's tough to, to volunteer, but hopefully the younger generation will see that their parents, their grandparents, what they have done for this organization, and will then continue the
On behalf of the
tradition.
board, on behalf of those we serve, I thank the volunteers. The volunteers do so many things for our organization. They guide our organization, they help the community, and they help those that we serve, those in need. They've been here for us for the last 100 years, generations of volunteers, and we hope that in the future, the next generation of volunteers will help us serve the community for the next 100 years.
Oh, you're taking it already.
Nancy, you want to tell
He's
me?
sneaking up on me.